Oh, boy, my favorite time of the week. I absolutely live for it. As does my co-host, Ron Anders. He loves it. Especially the intro. It's his favorite part.
And now for something completely different.
This is Shug Jordan, coach of the Auburn Tigers.
Say what?
No.
It's pronounced
Jaden.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
This is Shug Jaden, football coach of the Auburn Tigers.
It's pronounced Jordan.
I'm sure he's down there in Florida. Or no,
He's in Gulf Shores,
Gulf Shores,
building a house.
Singapore. I'm sure he's tuning in from down
In Singapore.
down in Gulf Shores. Just for that. Now he's back to hammering.
Yeah, that's right. He's down there doing a Habitat for Humanity, and I gotta say, first of all, thank you for coming in, Jeremy Henderson with the War Eagle Reader. He's kind of playing hurt. He's kind of playing hurt, but sometimes you got to suck it up.
Put me in, coach.
And you got to put you. You got to. I can play. How many fingers am I holding up? Okay, but
yeah, it's the voice. I don't know, and hopefully, it won't sound any different.
It doesn't sound any different. You sound like you're the same dulcet Jeremy that you always do.
Well, good. That was the idea. I started singing some some tunes in the car to try to limber up. It was pretty intense, dude.
Little Rod Stewart, maybe some Duran Duran.
Well, that Grace Kelly song by Mika. Do you know? You know what I'm talking about? If I can hit that falsetto, I know I'm good, and I can.
How about that?
Yeah, but
wow.
Anyway, so it's a strain. Usually it's just a breeze. I
understand.
It's like Bo's broken ribs. It's like. That's kind of what this is right now.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
absolutely.
But, yeah. Happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy for you to be here. As you can tell, it's an empty studio. It was just me. By the way,
there are no cars in the parking.
There's none. Actually, everybody is watching. Everybody's watching basketball right now. And if you would like, I can play for you. I actually, I recorded this from the first segment of the first hour. I actually had two computers set up by the microphones, and I was going to let them. I was going to let the computers do the show, and I got called on it. But here's how I started the show.
Welcome to The Drive, the best-smelling 2 hours in sports talk radio you will find anywhere in the world.
I don't know why
My name is Rich.
Didn't get this.
I am your host.
That's what I was thinking I was going to have to do this week.
Sitting across from me in the palatial Studio A at the Auburn Network is my co-host, Ron Enders. Good afternoon, Ron.
I don't know why people...
Good afternoon, Rich.
I don't...
It is a splendid day here in Auburn, and we are ready to talk some sports.
I mean, doesn't that sound just like Ron?
Yeah. Is that the voice? Is that the name Ron on there?
Yeah, that is.
Is that the Ron? The Ron bot?
After only a couple of games, I believe I am officially eliminated from any chance of winning the office pool.
All right, so that did not go over very well.
I actually had that idea. So if I send you a transcript for next week,
I'll
just paste it in.
I'll punch it in. Quite frankly, here's the problem: you end up sounding like some girl from Wales. It's like,
have you seen the thing? Speaking of like the Siri thing on the iPhone, and it can't interpret it can't understand the Scottish accent.
I have not. That's funny.
Take me to a museum. And they're like,
hey, that was good.
You want to kill a woman? It's like.
Well, come on now. I'm sure it doesn't say that.
I swear there's like YouTube videos, and it's
that's a very good Scottish accent, by the way.
Thank you.
I can't pull off. Oh. See, the problem is when I start doing accent, if I do a British accent, it'll start off. It'll start off like Cockney, and then it'll go just a little Irish, and then it'll sound like the Queen. My husband and I would like to thank you all for being here today, and then it ends up being some guy from the Outback.
Yeah.
Good day, mate. I don't even know how
fluctuates.
I don't know how that gets there.
Yeah, mine goes all over the place too.
Yeah. So
I pretty much usually just end up going, oh, well, yeah, oh, well, yeah. That's how you do it. You don't even say anything. You just, oh.
It's all right then, isn't it?
That was stupid.
Yeah, you ask a lot of questions when you're British, apparently.
Right.
Everything's, isn't it?
Right.
They end everything with, isn't it?
And then, like, what is it? It's Scottish or Irish? You're like, I would hear.
Right.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
You don't even have to say it.
They're making a statement. but it sounds like a question.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
All right. So what you got for us? Because that's
Suge was
my-
Irish, or of descent.
Of Irish descent?
Yeah.
I'm Irish Welsh.
Yeah, I got some Welsh.
I'm Irish Welsh
there.
on one side of my family, and then I'm German on the other side. So I drink on time. Hello, thank you. I'll be here all
Nice.
day. Don't forget to tip your waitresses.
Nice. All right.
All right. So what do you got for us today? It's pronounced Jordan.
Well, prepping for what I
Yes.
thought was going to... Oh, I guess I need to get up to the microphone. That'd be good. Man, his voice sounds terrible. Sounds like he's like 10 feet away. Is that Kenny Irons? No, I don't know who that is. I don't follow basketball.
No,
Okay.
that's Dwight Howard.
Oh, all right. Looks like Kenny.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was I saying?
In prep for the show.
In prep, right. And thinking that the voice, wasn't going to be
Right.
there, I was like, what
Right.
can I do to deflect and distract? And so we put something up yesterday.
That's our whole show,
Pretty
by the
much
way.
the whole thing. The what was I saying? We put something up yesterday
Yes.
on the site,
Okay.
a video, and there's a lot of things, as I've been going like, how am I going to keep this thing up? How am I going to keep this thing going? Because
Right.
there's a lot of the content. I'm like, man, there's some great stuff we've got, but it doesn't translate necessarily.
Does
or
not always
lend
translate.
itself to radio,
Right.
Because it's so visual and everything, and there's a lot of videos, and this is a video, but at the same time, the audio is so good, the words are so good
Yes.
that, and you can pretty much envision what it is.
Yes.
And what it is a video, and it's the Auburn specific clip from this video. We've got the whole introduction of these players, but it's the clip from the 1971 Bob Hope's All-American presentation show, which they used to do, I think, up until maybe like the mid late 80s, maybe. Who knows?
Okay.
He might still do it. I don't even
So
well,
this
maybe.
so this is when they would have the All-American team.
Right.
And I think it was the APs?
AP, and he'd get them all out there, like on a, Merv Griffin looking, stage.
It did.
or
It looked
something.
like something from the dating game.
Right.
And it
right.
was, yeah.
And he'd call them out there, and
they go jogging out,
and
and
here's-
they're in uniform, which makes it hysterical.
Right,
like
right.
you just called them off the practice
they
field.
got cleats and everything.
Like they just called them off the
helmets.
practice field, and they're getting ready to go line up,
Right, exactly.
and do a little scrimmage for the audience,
And they're holding their helmets, under their hands.
in a way
and-
that they never hold them
Right,
ever.
right. And it's like, here are the line, and now for the linemen,
Right.
and kind of stuff. And so in 71, Auburn had 2 All-Americans. Maybe you've heard of them. Pat Sullivan
Ah, yes,
and Terry Beasley.
the golden one,
Right. The red
the burnt orange one.
Opie of the overhead reception catch is what I call it.
was.
Because good Lord, he was Opie looking.
Yes, he
especially
was.
in this video, in
Yeah.
the greatest way possible.
That's right.
But he and so I got this thing from this just incredible person who likes what we're doing at the War Eagle Reader and is a collector of all things vintage rah-rah himself.
Okay.
And he pulls for the Vols.
Okay.
However, and
right.
with a lot of, the Tennessee's played Auburn several times.
Sure.
And so obviously,
Yeah.
that's, involved. I mean, he has Auburn stuff in his collection, and he's more of just an SEC man,
Okay.
covering, all
Okay.
this old stuff. And he has all, there's tons of photos and stuff that I'd never seen, and he's just started sending me this stuff like in the mail. And,
Wow.
and one of them was this video, this clip from the Bob Hope thing, and he knew, I'd obviously be into it because of Pat and Terry and everything.
Yeah.
And good Lord, I was. And so, so we've got video of it, and he calls out Terry, and then he calls out Pat, and then there's a little bitty thing where, you can kind of hear what's going on. But there's a special little thing like with Pat because he had also won the Heisman
That's
by this
right.
point.
Right.
And then who knows? This may have been like early '72. I think it was pre, the bowl game though. And anyway, and so they call him out and they do a little skit type deal with Bob. And when you hear him kind of being like, "Oh, what are you doing?" He's
They're-
being picked
yeah.
up by 2 players,
by the
2 other
basically
giant
the-
All-Americans,
Yeah.
men.
Yeah. All right. So this is Pat Sullivan, Terry Beasley on Bob Hope's AP All-American Team presentation
Right,
show
1971.
in 71.
And now the wide receiver.
They're calling out all these different people.
Terry Beasley from Auburn University.
Terry Beasley, Auburn University.
And then they do this little thing.
I want to tell you, Terry is always a threat. They triple cover him in his girlfriend's living room.
Wow. Brown chicken, brown cow.
What's he talking
If you're
about?
fast enough, take a look at our running backs.
Yeah, and then here comes Ed Marinero.
Ed Marinero, Cornell University.
Who, by the way, looked like a dope dealing punk.
Exactly.
He just
exactly.
did.
We hadn't gotten into that. That's something I could go into.
Ed's had longer runs than Fiddler on the Roof,
Is
and he's
his
just as hard to bring down.
his beef kind of with Pat Sullivan. He was the runner-up, for the Heisman that year.
That's right.
With University of Oklahoma.
That's a good thing. We'll have to get into that. And here's some dude from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Greg does the 100-yard
Pruitt.
dash in 9
What a
seconds
man.
flat,
He was
even
good.
faster standing up.
Oklahoma killed us in that bowl
Running
game.
back couldn't make it today, but here he is, Lydell Mitchell, Penn State.
Hey,
There's Mitchell. And
nice
then
little
here- and
picture of him in action.
Right, and
Yep.
here comes the man.
Now
The
it's time
legend.
to spotlight the All-American quarterback. Pat Sullivan from Auburn University.
Sully.
Congratulations, Pat, not just for being our All-American quarterback, but also winning the Heisman Trophy. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, Mr. Ball.
No, you can't even understand what he's saying.
All-American team for 1971.
Now they're at this point in the video, they're panning all these guys, and it looks like a police lineup of the usual suspects.
Right. And then he's
There's
about
one guy that looks like Lurch.
exactly Lurch. That's what I meant. Right, and then Jaws from
Yeah.
the Bond movies.
Ugh.
And now he's about to gather them up to himself. I mean, call them together, huddle up.
Right.
Okay, men, gather around. Look, for the benefit of the youthful watchers who may someday take your places here, is there some outstanding new formation you'd care to demonstrate?
Mr. Hope, would you care to say the wishbone tee?
That's a good idea.
Now this is Pat Sullivan talking. Now all these guys pick him up, grabbing Bob Hope
Okay, fellas, make
by,
a wish.
by each leg.
By each leg, and they're splitting him down the,
Yes.
where it.
Wake and smart. Wait, hold it. Put me down.
What's the trouble, Bob?
I'm not ready for the Colonel Sanders Chicken Awards yet.
Ah, there we go.
What's-
And Sullivan's laughing, and Basie's laughing, and everybody's laughing.
Oh, that's.
And
I'm.
yeah, that was.
What's the matter, Bob?
What's the matter, Bob? Like he's got this. I don't know the way Sullivan talked. It hadn't really. Nobody brings it up. We don't talk about that enough.
No, we don't,
think.
but we
We
should.
talk about his skills, but
with
yeah,
with
his-
all the respect and all the love and affection, the man talked like he had marbles in his mouth.
Yeah, we need to
he
talk
just
about
did.
that oral history. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even know what that means.
No, well.
And I don't want to get into it at this point right now.
I bet we could interview Pat.
Oh,
Get him
boy.
on here if we could understand him.
We'd love to. Wouldn't that be
That's
great?
terrible. Love you, Pat.
Well, what we could do is just have him answer some things, and we'll type it into the computer and let the computer do it. This is Pat Sullivan.
What's the matter, Bob?